Hey, welcome to Off-Grid Victory. So we just got this high ceiling cargo container, shipping container delivered. We were going to use this particular one for storage, but we're going to get two more delivered for housing. But I wanted to talk about today the various differences of the container you might see in the marketplace. This one happens to be cargo ready or watertight. And so this is the midline, and the worst is just weather tight, but a lot more dings, dents, rust, and whatnot. And of course there's the new, which really isn't new. They use it once, 3 times, whatever, going back and forth, but less cosmetic damage, newer cargo container. But this is just the midline. And what I wanted to share was, for what I wanted to do with this, which is just storage, this may do, but in terms of housing, this will not do. So one of the first things I wanted to show you was this large spot weld here. It's about 2 feet wide, 2 feet high, and you can see the welding job here. And you can see it rusted out here. I'll show you the inside later, but not a great patch. The main problem with this particular container is not the amount of rust it has on it, or even the age, which this particular container from this label here dates it, let's see where it is, blah blah blah, right here. I'm going to try to zoom in on that if I can. Hold on here. Well, it says 7/2006, and it was manufactured in China. Once again, it's the high ceiling version, so it is I believe 9.6 feet high. We'll take a look at it when we go inside, but what I wanted to point out was a lot of this, I mean, you have saltwater corrosion here, and as you guys all know, in terms of cars and stuff, if you worked on them, you don't want saltwater damage, and ultimately, even if you sand that down to the metal and repaint it, that may come back again. Most likely it will come back again. And so I guess you could repair it with things like Bondo, but not a great long-term solution. So in terms of using something like this to just hold storage, I think that's fine. But like I said, if you wanted to use it for other things, so here's another spot weld here. You can see this one's about 1 foot wide. And so this particular one is 9.6 feet. The brand on this is Costco. Just walk you around it. Then we go back around here. So it's quite high, much bigger than what you would see on the road normally. You'd normally see the standard size cargo container. So this is a high ceiling cargo container. But what I wanted to point out was the corrosion. And so the difference in terms of the price is pretty substantial. Quote new version, you can see some of the paint here, it just flakes off from the saltwater corrosion. And so for long term, I mean, I'm sure this container, if it was properly painted and whatnot, would probably last a good 10 years. But what I want to do is I want to have these things for a longer term. So I think I'm going to step up to a new container, and that's what I've ordered. I've ordered 2 new ones. This one's going to be going back. And so let me go ahead and show you the inside of it. Alrighty. So some of the specs on this are written right there in terms of what it can carry. So here we go. Here's the door opening. Go ahead and open that all the way up. Show you what's inside. Okay. Oops. All right. Maybe here you go. That's kind of the perspective of the high ceiling. Yep. Sorry about the camera work. The ground here isn't so level, as I'm sure most off-grid situations are. So there's a lot of echo here, but here you go. There is one of the spot welds. And here's another one that you saw from the front. Now the problem with these welds is that they're on the outside, and they didn't bother welding the inside, and you can see some debris got caught in there and whatnot. I'm sure this container is watertight, weather-tight, but once again, if you're only using it for storage, that's fine, but if you're going to do anything else with it, like building a home or whatnot, this probably isn't right for you. So here's one of the welds that go right through, and so that's a patch. And so these are the things that you want to look out for. Here's another patch down there. The reason why I'm returning this particular container is the side patches aren't as troublesome as the top patch up here for long term. And so, I mean, it's plenty of space. I mean, it's echoey in here because there's nothing here. It's 40 foot, 9.6 feet high. The width is, I believe, 8 feet. And so you got, give you a perspective all the way from the back. Right. So here's the perspective from the corner. So you got quite a bit of space, quite a bit of height. The only problem, like I said, for me is I'd like to use this for more than just storage. And so I'm going to go ahead and upgrade to a new container. But I just wanted to give you an idea of what it looks like inside and how big the space is. I mean, I'm in it. You guys are just hearing an echo. And so there's plenty of space to do a lot of things in here. Way bigger than any trailer. Give you a perspective from the front. So here's another perspective from the front, how big it is. Try to get it all in there on the frame. All right. So anyway, what I've learned is, you know, it does cost more, almost twice as much to get a new, quote, new, which isn't new, like I said. It's gone probably once, twice, 3 times overseas. The incremental price difference is quite high. It's almost double, but it may be worth it for what you need to do. If you're just using things, using these containers for storage, you know, that's fine. I think something like this will work. That's guaranteed to be watertight. If you want something a bit more, or something that's going to last a little longer, I suggest you go ahead and pay up for the newer containers if you can afford it. That's going to save you some long-term headaches. So anyway, that's a 40-foot container, high ceiling, and that's what it looks like, and that's what it looks like off-grid. All right, shalom.